Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shashikant and I am a professor and consultant pathologist. And today we are going to discuss yet another important topic of clinical significance, that is Goodpasture syndrome. So before going towards the presentation, please like, subscribe and comment on the video. And also stay hooked till the end. We have a MCQ to discuss at the end of the presentation. So let's discuss the Goodpasture syndrome. The general consideration of it is an immune-mediated disorder, and it is characterized by a triad of hemoptysis, anemia, and presence of diffuse pulmonary infiltrates in radiological examination. And we have characteristic glomerulonephritis and hemorrhagic interstitial pneumonitis. When only kidney is affected, then the nomenclature is antiglomerular basement membrane disease. But classically, the patient of Goodpasture syndrome presents with initial respiratory involvement, and then it proceeds to renal involvement and presenting as renal failure. So, the Goodpasture syndrome, having both lung and kidney involvement, is characterized by presence of anti-basement membrane antibodies directed against the basement membrane of pulmonary and glomerular capillaries. So viral infection and smoking are known to be the initiating factors behind the autoimmune process. The role of autoreactive B cells and T cells have been defined. HLA DRB1 association is also being seen, and antibodies against the non-collagenous domain of alpha 3 chain of collagen type 4 in the lung and kidney is seen in Goodpasture syndrome. So remember, alpha 3 chain of collagen type 4 in present in the basement membrane of lungs and kidney is the main pathognomic event behind Goodpasture syndrome. So, the Goodpasture syndrome or Goodpasture disease most commonly involves young male, usually in teens, that is around 20 year of age, and another age group is elderly women of 60 to 70 year of age group that is more commonly affected. But overall, males are much more commonly affected compared to that of females. The patients first present with hemoptysis, and then the patient presents with oliguria and signs of renal failure due to the onset of acute crescentic glomerulonephritis. So most common cause of death is due to acute failure, and the patient have characteristic signs and symptoms of uremia. That is the most common cause of death. Microscopic examination, morphological examination shows focal necrosis of alveolar cells, alveolar walls, and there is intra-alveolar significant hemorrhage leading to hemosiderin deposition, and there is fibrous thickening of alveolar septa is being seen. Radiological investigation shows areas of focal to diffuse pulmonary consolidation, and immunofluorescence shows linear pattern of immunoglobulin deposition in both renal and pulmonary capillaries. So here you can see the alveoli with lots of hemorrhage, the alveolar wall with showing lots of hemorrhage, and this bluish structure, these bluish pigments, they are due to Prussian blue staining of hemosiderin pigments, and there is a linear IgG and complement deposit along the alveolar capillary. That is the characteristic of Goodpasture syndrome. So Goodpasture syndrome or anti-GBM glomerulonephritis also involves renal capillary and forms this kind of a linear pattern of IgG and C3 deposition. So the renal involvement characteristically begins with the focal proliferative glomerulonephritis and then leading to the advanced crescentic glomerulonephritis, formation of crescent due to the parietal cell proliferation, and ultimately it leads to the acute renal failure, and linear deposition of IgG is also marked in both the pulmonary and the glomerular capillaries. Treatment includes high doses of immunosuppressant to decrease the production of the antibodies, and the plasma exchange or plasmapheresis removes the anti-basement membrane antibody present in the plasma of the patient. So both of these therapies have a promising role in the treatment of Goodpasture syndrome. Now let's end this presentation with the MCQ discussion. 29-year-old male has a has no major illness, experiences acute onset of hemoptysis. Physical examination shows temperature of 37 and pulse of 83, respiration of 28 per minute. Blood pressure is higher, 150 by 95. Radiograph shows bilateral fluffy infiltrates, and transbronchial lung biopsy shows focal necrosis of alveolar wall with prominent intraalveolar hemorrhage. And the patient develops oliguria after 2 days. Serum creatinine level is higher, and urea nitrogen is also higher. So, which of the following antibody is likely involved? So, as you can see from the description, the characteristic involvement of lung and the kidney involvement, and with the characteristic morphological changes of lung, it is very clear that we are dealing with uh, Goodpasture syndrome. So the answer lies with anti-basement membrane antibodies. And so let's rule out the other option one by one. Anti-DNA topomerase antibodies. This is seen in systemic sclerosis, so it has nothing to do with Goodpasture syndrome. Anti-mitochondrial antibody is again seen in in the primary biliary cirrhosis, so it is also ruled out. Anti-neutrophilic cytoplasmic antibodies are seen in various vasculitis like microscopic polyangiitis, Wegener granulomatosis, so it is again ruled out. And anti-nuclear antibody is seen in lupus erythematosus, so it is again ruled out. So one difference that I would like to quote between the Wegener's and this Goodpasture syndrome is that in Wegener's and Goodpasture both involve the lung and the renal uh, capillaries, but in and both of them they lead to uh, acute renal failure by the formation of crescentic glomerulonphritis. But uh, in case of Wegener's, both upper and lower respiratory tract is involved, whereas in case of Goodpasture, only a lung is being involved. Upper respiratory tract is usually not involved. And apart from that, the pathognomic process of Wegener's granulomatosis is cytoplasmic anti-neutrophilic cytoplasmic antibody, whereas in case of Goodpasture, we get the anti-basement membrane antibody, that is the pathognomic event. So that's all for this presentation. So uh, again, reminding you to subscribe the channel and put your valuable comments. And we'll again see you in the next video very soon. Thank you all.